Hello everyone. In this video we're going to take a look at the T300RS racing wheel and the perfect pedal. To accomplish this, I've used the Ricmotech adapter and I've made changes to the circuitry of the perfect pedal. I will go through each item and how to modify it and how I have attached it. One step you need to do is, because the Ricmotech adapter sends power through the black of the G27 harness, you're going to want to remove the ground screw from each one of the pedals. This is done because you do not want to have 5 volts running through the pedal sets. The next thing, and I will go over this again, is that once you make the modifications to the circuitry of the board, we need to make sure that we're getting power into the right side. So the red wire of the harness is now the ground of the G27 harness. So you're going to want to hook that into the black wire. The white wire goes with white, just signal. And the black wire is now the positive on the harness. So you want to go to the red wire of the perfect pedal. Please watch the rest of the video on how I've modified the circuitry of the perfect pedal so that it's compatible with the T300RS wheel. And please note that once this modification has been made, you will need to remake all the changes in order for it to work with the G27 again, and that will be reconnecting a circuit board and switching your wires around and obviously attaching it to your G27 wheel. If you have any questions after watching the video, please leave something in the comments. In this step, we're going to be looking at the modifications to the perfect pedal. Now, you can follow the steps in the perfect pedal instructions. What you're going to want to do is stop at number 18, and that's where we're going to take over. So what I'm going to do is disassemble everything basically to step 18, and then I'll show you the modifications we need to make. Okay, now that your pedal's all apart, I'm going to show you the modification that I've made. This is the completed modification, and as you can see, the board is not attached. So the first thing you want to do is take this wire that is normally attached right here, clip it off, and cut the leads to probably about an 1/8 inch long and prepare them for soldering. The next thing you want to do is, typically this pressure sensor is what we're trying to get off of the board, is sitting right here, and there's 3 prongs that come down, and what this circuit board has is a red coming over here, and that's your red, that's the positive, and then you have your ground, which actually goes in the middle, and the signal wire goes through a bunch of resistors and a few other boards. I won't get into it, but we'll just quickly go through what we need to do, and that's the signal wire. So what we need to do is just remove this piece, and what you're going to do is take the 2 bolts out, and you can desolder, or I actually think that I first desoldered it, but what you can do is just clip them, because I suggest actually cutting them shorter so that there isn't so much sticking out and you can fit them into the pedal a little easier. So remove those 2 bolts, get this out, get the pressure sensors separated. Now what we're going to have is, if you're looking at the bottom, this is actually has 5 or 6 prongs. 3 of them have been cut off by perfect pedal, and what we need to do is just tie into the same connections. So your red is going to be the farthest over in the middle, and that's going to be your positive. Your ground's going to be in the middle, and your signal wire is going to be on the end, and that's looking from below. Hopefully you can see the colors. So red, black, white, and then if you want to see it from the other side, the same connections. You're just going to go red, black, white on the outside. White is always on the outside, and you've got the black and the red. Once I got this together, I actually did a bench test with 3 AAA batteries that were running at actually like 4.6 volts, and I was able to make it produce the signal I was looking for, which is the 0 volts to 5 volts. Just neglect the plus or minus. So the next step we want to do is, once we've made these connections, and I suggest using some shrink wrap just to make some protection and just make it nice and neat. You can solder it. You might be able to actually get some connectors that slide right on the end of them if you don't want to solder. The next step is we actually need to mount the pressure sensor now. Before, it was mounted on the board and it was stuck on. What I wanted to do was just drill 2 holes and just mount it right onto the pedal itself. So the best spot was really right in the location that Perfect Pedal suggested. So, and I actually just took it and moved it up a little bit, and just take a permanent marker and mark it in the 2 spots you need. Just center it up real nice. I suggest taking a drill bit a little bit bigger than these screws and drilling it, and the screw will go from the front to the back. So really you're just going to see that little head when you're done. So you're going to mount the pressure sensor just like it was originally. Route the wire the same exact way in the instructions in the Perfect Pedal, and then take this piece and go out through the hole just how they say in the Perfect Pedal, and mount this piece on the board, on the frame itself, just how they show in the Perfect Pedal instructions. I'm going to put it back together. I will stop and I actually will show you a few photos of this without the shrink wrap on it, and I will show you a few photos of this installed here. I think it'll be easier just showing a photo than a wobbly video. And then I will install it. When you go to put it back together, that's the only difference, is the 2 holes. Put it back together same exact way the Perfect Pedal shows, and then I will once again go over the wiring to make sure that we are all compatible. And just so you know, because you removed the circuit board, it is now not compatible at all with the G27. You would have to re-put the pressure sensor back on and hook the wires back up in order to make it compatible again with the G27. So I'm going to put it back together, and we'll come back and I'll show you it working in the vehicle and go over the wiring. Let's take a look at Project Cars on the PS4. And what we will also do is take a look at the in-game settings. We're going to hit L2 to go calibrate pedals. So here's our clutch, our throttle, and our brake. So now we'll move on to the next game. Here we're going to be taking a look at the World Rally Cup Championship. I have a game already set up and we'll just go through here. So I got the sound off just so that we can hear better. But I'll show you the gas here. Just take a look at the tail lights. I'll give you some sound.
Onto chicane, left right, into left 3, minus. Onto right 3, short, into left 2, short, onto right 2, long, closed.
Here we have Gran Turismo 5 on the PlayStation 3. If you take a look at the bar next to the speedometer, when I press the brake pedal, you'll see the bar go up. And then once you reach full braking, you can press harder to set the maximum. And then the next time you press the brake pedal, that stiffness that you just set, that will be the new range. So you have to press that hard again to get full braking. The way you reset it fully back to the lighter braking pressure is you have to restart the game. I'll show you here real quick. Let's move on. Gran Turismo 6 on the PlayStation 3. Take a look at the brake indicator again on the left-hand side. It works the same way. Full braking, press harder to get the pressure you want, and then let off, and you'll be at that range setting again. Dirt 3 on the PlayStation 3. If you take a look at the brake lights, when I press the brake pedal, see the brake lights come on. Okay, well, I hope this added to your racing enjoyment, and if you have any questions, toss it down in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.